Hello, my friends. Welcome to 10 questions to shake up your final PMP prep. We're moving on to the second section where we have questions 6 to 10. So, taking a look at the questions we have, explain how the 10 knowledge areas of project management correlate to the world of Agile using pages 90 to 95 of the Agile Practice Guide as an example. Now, if you look at 90 to 95, you're going to find integration all the way on down to stakeholder defined from an Agile lens. So let's take a look at how you could answer question 6. Just an example, okay? So you could answer it like this. Integration management is done throughout the project rather than at the end. Agile teams integrate continuously and iteratively throughout the project. So when you're building a product, instead of having all the components built and then assembled at the end, in integration within Agile, we integrate our product all through. We're always adding to what we built in the previous iteration. Now, in the more project management sounding sense of integration, it is the team that is responsible for the integration of the entire project from a more project management standpoint, from a more task-driven standpoint. It is not the project manager because that does not exist in the grand scheme of many of these frameworks. Okay? Going to scope. Agile teams prioritize scope and work on it incrementally. They use user stories and backlogs to manage scope. When it comes to scope, you got to remember, it is not chunked into one big mass at the beginning. Instead, it is broken down sprint by sprint, iteration by iteration. Moving into schedule management, Agile teams use time boxes or sprints to manage schedules. They use velocity, burn down charts, and other metrics to track progress. So in the world of scheduling, the question becomes, can it be done during the sprint? And if the answer is yes, it can be done during the sprint, then it takes away the need for heavy Gantt charts and heavy schedules because we're doing things every 2 weeks. So there's no need to schedule it out as much. We know it fits the time box, we understand our capacity, and we know it can be done. Going into cost management, Agile teams focus on value rather than cost. They prioritize work based on the value that it brings to the customer. When it comes to quality, Agile teams use continuous testing and quality control to ensure high quality deliverables. Remember that quality is built into the very processes that we use in Agile environments. They also involve the customer in testing to ensure that the product meets their needs. So it's tightly woven into all the events of the sprint, that whole quality concept. Now, with that said, if you take a look at cost, schedule, and scope, schedule, and cost and quality, the way the triple constraint is managed and the way it's perceived is different in traditional worlds versus in Agile worlds. In the world of traditional, scope is fixed. Schedule and budget are generally estimated. But in the world of Agile, schedule and cost are the fixed components. What is variable is the scope. Just remember that. Going over to resource management, Agile teams are self-organizing and cross-functional. They optimize the use of resources by empowering team members to collaborate and work together. So as opposed to using a central leadership approach, we use a decentralized leadership approach where all the team members are responsible and accountable as far as leadership is concerned. So we have team leadership. Inside the team, we have naturally occurring leadership, but that is because of team autonomy. No one is pointing to a project manager and saying, follow that leader. So it's different in Agile. When it comes to communications management, Agile teams emphasize open and transparent communication. They use things like information radiators, daily stand-ups, sprint reviews, Kanban boards, and other meetings to ensure that everyone is on the same page. When it comes to risk management, Agile teams use continuous risk management to identify and mitigate risk. They also use retrospectives to learn from past mistakes and improve processes. You got to remember here that the product owner has a steep job of continuously identifying which risks could impact the product backlog items. And based on that understanding, the product backlog is prioritized along with other variables such as complexity and value, not to mention a few. In procurement management in Agile, procurement management is often done through partnerships and collaboration. Agile teams work closely with vendors and suppliers to ensure that they deliver value to the customer. So it's all that collaboration, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. And last but not least, we have stakeholder management. Agile teams involve stakeholders throughout the process. They use user stories and other techniques to effectively engage stakeholders to ensure that stakeholders' needs are incorporated all through the project. And that, my friends, was the answer to just number 6. There's quite a lot of stuff that we have in this set of questions I gave you, and we will tackle them incrementally as time goes on. So just to recap here, we have another one coming up, which is question 7. And question 7 is explain the 12 principles of project management as set forth by the PMI in the PMBOK guide. Now I'm going to put a link to this